Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Monday, the 16th of October. Continuing to follow the story of the kings of the northern kingdom in the book of 1 Kings, we read today chapter 19, continuing the story of Elijah. He had pronounced a famine in the land and a drought which had come upon the land, but God had provided for him, getting ravens to feed him and then sending him to a widow in Zarephath. He then, at God's instigation, called all the prophets of Baal and Ashtoreth together and had a competition on Mount Carmel where he'd won, and all of them had been executed, and the people had recognized that the God of Israel was the only God. And we then go into chapter 19 where this news gets back to Jezebel that all the prophets had been executed. And Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah to say, "May the gods deal with me, be it ever so severely, if by this time tomorrow I do not make your life like that of one of them." A absolutely unambiguous threat. And we're told Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. And as you read that, you think, here is Elijah who's seen God's provision for him miraculously with ravens feeding him, a jar of flour and oil that doesn't run out. He's seen God send fire from heaven on Mount Carmel. Surely, in my mind, at this point, he'd say, God, just deal with Jezebel and take her out, send fire and consume her in a room or whatever. But he hears this threat and he runs. And that is so human. And we need to remember that our experiences of today can very easily be overwhelmed and swamped by the realities of tomorrow. And it's very easy to point fingers and judge. But I dare say, if many of us, certainly if I'd been in his position, I'm quite sure I would have done very, very similar things. We'd like to think, oh no, I'd be different, but I'm as human as he clearly is as well. So he runs, and exhausted, he falls down and falls asleep under a tree. And an angel comes and wakes him. An angel touches him and says, "Get up and eat." He looked around, and there by his head was a cake of bread baked over the hot coals and a jar of water. And as I read that, I thought, what grace, what magnanimity. The angel could have come and said to him, "Elijah, what are you doing? Have you no faith? Haven't you seen how God works? What's wrong with you? Get up, be the prophet of God, go in his name." He doesn't do that. He just recognizes that Elisha has reached his end, essentially, and he ministers to him in grace and in love, and God provides what he needs at that moment. And Elijah eats and drinks and falls asleep again. And for me, that is just this wonderful, wonderful image of the gracious God we serve and follow. He does wonders. He can do magnificent works, but he doesn't judge us according to what he does. He judges us according to our human frailty. And for me, that's a great, great blessing and comfort. So know that God sees us, knows where we are, knows what we're going through, and meets us accordingly. And for me, that's a great encouragement and a blessing.